Today we're elevating a simple charcuterie platter with some delicious Parmesan herb crackers. You can make them at home. You're going to want to make some today. You might wonder why you'd go to all the trouble to make some crackers when you can easily buy crackers in the store. But when you see the ingredients, you'll know why you might want to make your own crackers, because these are very simple ingredients that are going to deliver on the flavor in a way that makes you proud to serve them to your family and your friends. We're going to start off with some almond flour. You can make crackers with regular flour, with all-purpose flour, with whole wheat flour, but today we're using almond flour, and you want the flour, not almond meal. It's 1 1/4 cups. Also going to add 1/2 cup, 4 ounces of grated Parmesan cheese, 1 stick of unsalted butter at room temperature, some fresh ground pepper, some kosher salt, your herbs, and today I'm using thyme, fresh thyme. If you're using fresh herbs like I am, you want to make sure that you get the leaves off the stems. The reason I'm using the fresh herbs is because I really want the punch that you'll get from fresh herbs in each little bite of my cracker. Now, does that mean you can't use dried herbs? No, it does not mean you can't use dried herbs. If that's what you have, you can use them. And I have used them. In addition to thyme, I also like to make this cracker with rosemary. It's so delicious with rosemary. You're only going to need about 1 teaspoon because these herbs do pack a punch. After you remove the thyme from its stems, chop it finely. You don't want to turn it into a dust, however. It'd be great to be able to see the leaves of the thyme. We're going to start by adding the almond flour and the Parmesan cheese to the bowl of a food processor. Now, I have made this with using a mixer, but I like using the food processor better because it gets a better, more combined mixture. And it's important that these items come together in order to make this cracker. So give the almond flour and the Parmesan cheese a quick pulse to combine them well. Then add the salt, the pepper, and the thyme, or whatever herbs you're using, and give it another pulse. And once you see that the herbs and the pepper are distributed throughout the mixture, then you're done. Next, you want to add the butter, and I've cut the butter into chunks just to get it started. You'll combine the butter with the herb mixture until it comes together. When the mixture comes together, you want to scoop it out. I like to use a spatula. Turn it out onto a board that's covered with plastic wrap. Be careful at this point because of the paddle that's in the food processor, because this is very sticky and you don't want to cut yourself. Once you have taken the mixture out of the food processor, you want to roll it out. You see that it's not too sticky, mainly because of all of the butter that's in there. And you want to roll it out into a roll about 12 to 13 inches long. I like to just wrap the plastic wrap around it. You could use parchment paper, you could use waxed paper, but I find this works. And then I just roll it until it comes together in a nice log. Firm up the ends. Don't be afraid to squeeze. You want it to be a nice solid cracker. And then put your log into your freezer for 30 minutes to an hour, or it could be overnight. It could be stored for up to 2 weeks. Then you're going to just slice off the pieces and bake them up. To bake your crackers, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Take your cold, solid log out of the freezer and slice it into rounds, a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch in size, depending on how thick you want them. And you're going to bake them for 15 to 25 minutes. Now this all depends on how thick you make your crackers. Today I'm going to cook up just 9 crackers, and the rest I'm going to put back in my freezer for another time. That's what makes this such a beautiful recipe, is that you can keep your frozen cracker log in your freezer and just cook up what you need when you need them. This batch of crackers that I cut about 1/4 inch thick took 15 minutes in the oven to have a crispy brown edge and a golden center. Let your crackers cool for a few minutes in the pan before transferring to a wire rack to cool completely. Let's give these crackers a taste test so you know what to expect. So you can see that the bottom of the cracker is lightly golden brown. The top of the cracker is a little brown around the edge and golden in the middle. Let me bite in. It's a very buttery, tender cracker. The Parmesan taste is right front and center. It'd be delicious all by itself with a glass of wine. This is a spinach artichoke dip. It's yummy with that. These are not dry like the packaged crackers that you will get from the store. These really are a step above the crackers you buy in the store. You should make some today. How will you store them? If you have any leftovers, store them in an airtight container for up to 3 days. Since you can keep them in your freezer, the log in your freezer, and bake them off when you need them, do that. Make them fresh. They're so delicious, so buttery. Enjoy. I hope you love them.